Live from the 2019 World Scout Jamboree, this is New World Live.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Merritt from the United States.
And I'm Signe Bille from Denmark. This is Tuesday, July 30th. Welcome to New World Live Morning Edition.
On today's show, we'll get the latest Jamboree forecast to keep you prepared as you head out around the summit. And I got some time off and explored scuba diving here at the Jamboree. We then went to see one of the smallest contingents visiting the Jamboree from the Comoros Islands.
We also visited some of the contingents in the Global Development Village. We had an interview with the co-directors of the World Scout Jamboree 2019.
It looks like there's going to be a shift in the weather today after so many days of sun. To be prepared for the rest of the day and beyond, let's have a look at the forecast with Jamboree meteorologist Kyle Kippel.
An increased chance of rain and thunderstorms today at the World Scout Jamboree. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Kyle Kippel. Today's forecast showing temperatures around 81 degrees Fahrenheit or 28 degrees Celsius, wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour, 8 to 13 kilometers per hour. Evening lows dropping around 10 degrees to 18 degrees Celsius or in the lower 60s this evening. Today's temperatures, models have it warming up to around 79 degrees here in southern West Virginia or around 26 degrees Celsius. And as we do have an increase in clouds and rain chances, that'll keep temperatures a little bit cooler than they have been over the past couple days and hopefully get that dust here at the summit under control. Here's that future radar and the cold front we've been tracking over the past couple days, and notice how it tracks into West Virginia. Around Tuesday late or early morning time, early afternoon time hours, we do see the chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorm activity across southern West Virginia. But as we head into the 7 o'clock hour, you'll notice how most of those storms move off toward the northeast. That's not ruling out the chance of a shower here, because as we move into the rest of the overnight hours, the chance is still there for a lingering rain shower or two. The cold front moves past our area on Wednesday, but the chance of showers still remain. But notice how these showers are a little bit more pocket, though more hit or miss, if you will. So not as great of a chance of thunder, but we still have the chance of showers at the World Scout Jamboree for your Wednesday. Tracking you through your Tuesday and walking you through that today. 10 a.m. expecting some scattered morning rain. About 40% chance of that occurring this morning. As we head into the afternoon hours, though, that's when we see the chance of thunderstorms increasing to around 70%. And if you hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. And as the saying goes, when thunder roars, head indoors, find a sturdy structure, and let that thunderstorm just roll on through. By around 8 p.m. this evening and heading into the overnight hours, we do have around 60% chance of a lingering rain shower sticking around with us here at the Summit Bechtel Reserve. Tonight's lows around 64 degrees or 18 degrees Celsius, light wind and possibly a cloud or two still in the sky lingering from those earlier rain showers. Next 3 days, we do have a chance of rain and thunder every single day through Thursday. Temperatures staying constant, at least in the lower 80s in Fahrenheit and around 27 degrees Celsius over the next couple days. So at least we'll be getting used to this weather and this weather pattern for the next couple days. The week ahead graphic and forecast here even shows that through Friday, chance of rain and thunderstorms, temperatures staying constant near 80 or 27. And as we look ahead toward the weekend, we do have a chance of some drier weather moving in as we end the World Scout Jamboree. Before we go, Michelle and Xenia, I do have a question for you and for the rest of our New World Live listeners and viewers. What kind of weather is expected with a cold front? Is it A, warm and sunny conditions, B, cloudy with thunderstorms and lightning, or C, very cold air? I mean, it is called a cold front, isn't it? I'll have the answer to that coming up later in today's broadcast. Go ahead and drop the comments if you think you know what the answer is down in the comments below.
While we are looking forward to your answers on the Kyle Kippel question for today, we're saying thanks to Kyle and going on to Michelle, who went scuba diving the other day. How was it, Michelle?
It was awesome. I wanted something fun that would let me cool off at the same time. Do you know that you can learn how to scuba dive here at the pools at the summit? We have 4 pools at the summit, and they have lots of equipment and great instructors who are willing to show you just how it's done. I went out there and met up with scuba instructor Jane Kilby, who showed me all about it. Let's check it out. I'm here with Jane today on my day off, and we're going to learn how to go scuba diving. One arm in.
That looked like so much fun and a nice way to cool off on a hot day, Michelle.
Yeah, I love the water. They have 174 scuba instructors and 250 sets of scuba gear. So there's plenty of opportunity to learn how to scuba here at the Jamboree. And it doesn't need to be sunny. It's just as fun to do on a cloudy day.
It's great to see that so many of you have been exploring the Jamboree. You've also shared your experience with each other in the world's social media. We love to see your photos, snaps and videos. Don't forget to use the hashtag ScoutJamboree and we can make a sense of how your day's going here at the summit. One of the smallest contingents visiting here at the World Scout Jamboree is the Comoros Islands.
Although scouting is a pretty new phenomenon there, 6 enthusiastic scouts made the trip all the way to West Virginia, and they invited us for a chat.
My name is Said, like the verb Said, you said and I'm Said, okay? And I'm from Comoros, so I'm gonna explain you. Comoros, it's in Africa, nearby Madagascar.
So we have 4 islands in the Comoros.
How are you doing?
So I am Anne Said from one. She and Mwenye here are from Antoine, and both are from Maweli.
I like the Jamboree because here it's so amazing and we learn too much. So yeah, I like it.
So Scout in Comoros is actually very new. We started in 1980. We're involved in everyday community thing like cleaning the villages, you know, like helping if there is any campaign against any type of disease. I remember at one time for malaria, there was a huge outbreak of malaria, and as scouts, we used to go to every village because in Comoros, a lot of places don't have running water, but we build cisterns to collect rainwater. And you know, when you have this pond of water, if it's not well covered, you have mosquitoes breathing, you know. So the scouts, we had to go all villages, you know, kind of get information about the system they have and put medicine to kill the larvae. If you go to Comoros now, there is a lot of mountains that were there before. If you see trees in there now, it's because we planted those trees in a huge campaign of reforestation that we did a couple of decades ago.
Many of the contingents that come to visit the World Scout Jamboree also offer a piece of their culture in one of the many contingent tents at World Point. We sent a crew to check some of them out.
Hello and welcome to the World Point. Here we have all the cultures combined on one street.
Please come over to our country, our beloved, beautiful Malaysia. Bye.
You can visit beautiful islands.
So our boys are giving them explanation as to where Sri Lanka is and what Sri Lanka is famous of, and we are also giving them a chance to taste our Ceylon tea.
I
have to put first 3, 4, or 5 spoons, depending on the people. This is the typical way we do it in Costa Rica.
It's just so nice seeing people from all different countries.
We also have a game here that's typically Belgium.
Buonasera, salut und grüezi in Switzerland. We are at our contingent tent, our exhibition, and we showcase one of Swiss unique sport events, Schwingen or La Lutte. It's a form of wrestling. You wear pants that are really tight, like really hefty pants, and you try to throw each other down in the sawdust. It's really fun to watch and it's really fun to try, so come and stop by.
Planning this jamboree was years in the making. Thousands of volunteers worked together to create this amazing scouting experience. We spoke to 3 volunteers who were co-directors in this jamboree in the planning. Here's our own Keegan Ethman, who we will hear him about his conversation.
Mike, Scott, and Omar, thanks so much for coming down to join us here in the studio. So this is the first jamboree that was bid and co-hosted by 3 countries. Can you tell us more about what that planning process was like?
It was 10 years in the making, and Mike Scott's been there from the very beginning.
Yeah, with Omar, and we were involved in the first discussion to actually consider whether or not we should try bidding for a World Jamboree. And maybe if we'd known what we were getting into at that point, we might have rethought it. But I got to say, it's been a labor of love. It's been a long time, but I think that all of us have enjoyed the process.
Well, it's been, as you said, a long process, but we learned a lot within in all this time. The way we wanted to run the jamboree and create this very unique experience for all the young participants and all the scouts that are enjoying being here.
Very cool. What has been the most exciting part of planning this event for you, Scott?
Seeing the teams come together. You know, we tried to do something different for the adult IST this time. We've got 10,500 IST on staff from all over the world, and our average age is under 29, which is spectacular. And if you want proof of that, just go to Echo or Chat and Chew or one of the dances every night, and you can see the folks that are putting on this jamboree and making it possible to have a good time.
Yeah, I think it's certainly sort of very vibrant down in Echo, and with all of the great things like the Finnish sauna. Haven't made it down yet, but I definitely know I need to go check that out because I think it'll be a nice, good mid-jamboree relax.
That's a jamboree tradition. Yes.
Yeah. Mike, what's been sort of the most surprising thing for you in planning this event?
I think the most surprising thing is, I mean, we've kicked around this number of 45,000 for 10 years. And it was just a number. It was on paper. It wasn't until I was standing down at the front of the stage, opening show, and looked out on that mass, flags waving, people dancing and singing, and at that point in time, it was like, wow, this is real. And I was surprised at my own reaction, how emotional I got, that it really drove it home after all those years of just talking about it, what it would be like, and then the sense of, here it is.
Yeah, it's certainly cool to, I know you guys have been talking about these participants as hypothetical young leaders from their countries for 10 years. Yeah. So it's really cool to put a face to them and to see that they are real people who are having that experience.
Yeah, I heard this neat story. It came from one of the Disney folks and one of our youth participants. And I think it was Frozen. And he was in the audience. And they were singing the song in like 7 different languages around him. Just shows the power of what this gathering's about.
Absolutely. If each of you could pick one thing for a scout to see tomorrow, what would it be, starting with you, Omar?
Well, I think definitely I recommend the rafting. It's a really, really great activity. I've received a lot of feedback that it's really, really cool to do, and with the current weather conditions, also a little bit of water doesn't. It's good. It's good for everyone. Yeah.
For sure. How about you, Scott?
It would have to be to make sure you go see the history of the Jamboree, the Spirit of the Jamboree exhibit that's in the middle of World Point. It has some world-class artifacts about the 23 prior Jamborees and a little bit on this one as well. It's one of the best quality Jamboree exhibits I've ever seen.
Yeah, it really is stunning in there. There's so much to see from each Jamboree, and as you mentioned, how this Jamboree got started as well is showcased in there. So I look forward to seeing the ending of that story as well. Mike, how about you?
I think if they haven't done it yet, I think that getting to World Point and going to visit all the NSO pavilions and learn about scouting from around the world, because talking to the scouts on the site, the big thing that I hear is they never realized how big scouting was and how much of an international movement it truly was, and to learn about scouting in all those different countries and how it's the same but how it's so different. I think that'd be one thing I'd really want them to experience.
Very cool. Very good point. So what do you hope will be the biggest takeaway for scouts who are attending this Jamboree?
That what makes us different actually brings us together, and that adults can learn from our young scouts. We've certainly seen so many people from different cultures and languages come together. I've said for years it usually happens in the second or third night when you're sharing food and singing songs together in the campsites. Here it happened in the rain, in the pouring rain on the first night, as people were setting up each other's tents and then sharing meals, and the Italians waking up the U.S. kids to fix them breakfast after they had set up their tents. That's Jamboree magic all over again.
Absolutely. Omar, how about you?
Well, one of the things I found with the feedback from the young participants and also the adults is from the participants' standpoint, they are really, really worried about the environment, and they are asking questions about not common to us, like what is going to be our carbon footprint, and I think this is a new generation that, as we've been addressed through the Jamboree events, this generation it's very, very conscious about the environment and the impact they are creating. So we need to support them to create what they wanna, where they wanna go, and I think this, when they come back home, I see that they will change the way they do the normal living things, and they know more about how they can separate trash, etc. So they are creating impact afterwards. So.
Absolutely.
Could I add a point there, Keegan?
Of course.
Yes.
We've got the Jamboree app here, and it's helping us here, but we're going to leave here with the Nano app available, which is designed to unite our scout population and the world population in helping to improve our planet. So that is a legacy gift of this Jamboree. So if you haven't activated the Nano app yet, it's something everybody should do, and it has a lot of other secrets too for the scouting world about organizing service projects and doing things in their community and keeping a communication stream going between the scouts that are at the Jamboree.
Absolutely. And I heard that if you activate it and use it on site, there might be a prize every day.
There might be a prize every day.
Awesome. So and it's by recycling that you can get in on that contest.
Yes.
Yeah. So we obviously want to leave the summit even more beautiful than we found it, as this perfect setting for this Jamboree. So it's great to download the app, and maybe you can even win a prize by doing that.
Right. Thank you.
So we're getting near the end of this Jamboree, and of course the planning for the next one has begun.
You're not going to ask me? I had a great answer, and you're not even going to ask me?
So, Mike, what do you hope will be the biggest takeaway?
Well, you said the word yourself, and that's hope. I think that you think where some of the countries that these scouts come from, there's some bad things going on. We're confronted with bad news all the time when we turn on the television or we look at social media. And I think that here, they've learned that there's hope. And at least I hope they've learned that there's hope by me talking to other scouts from around the world and by the things that we've shown them. And That's what I just hope they leave with a sense of hope.
I think that's a great thing. I think we've seen that sort of spread with some of the things that Scott and Omar talked about, having meals together, helping each other out throughout the site. I think sort of our spirits are all lifted by that type of thing. We're sort of getting near the end of this Jamboree, which means planning for the next one has begun. So what advice would you give to the organizers of the 2023 World Scout Jamboree?
Beware of toilet paper.
Make sure you have enough of it.
Yes.
You know, anything else, Omar? I don't want to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
You know, we've had a lot of adventure activities here, and that's been fun. We've had a lot of great exhibits that have never been held at a World Jamboree before, particularly with a focus on the SDG goals, which has permeated the site. But I think my wish to the organizers of the next Jamboree is they keep their eye focused on providing socialization, coming together opportunities for the young people, because that is the heart of the Jamboree.
Absolutely. Mike, how about you?
I think one of the things that we've discovered over the past 10 years is that the youth of our organization are a great human resource that have helped us plan this Jamboree. Dream Teams 1 and 2 are a prime example of that, and I hope that that they will realize too what a great human resource they have in the youth in their country to help them produce a fabulous Jamboree.
Well, I think for them it's going to be trying to find the balance between the use of technology and our traditional, the way we live in the Jamboree, being on tents and so on. So I think for the next Jamboree, we will to find out the new balance between how much technology is going to be supported and how much is going to be staying as well from the traditional ways of scouting, so to speak. So I think that's part of the pitfalls, and I'm sure they will succeed, but let's see what they have in mind.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I know you've had very busy days and you're out and about meeting lots of scouts, so we appreciate taking the time. Before you leave, I do want to do one last thing, and that's connect with you on Novus to make sure I get your contact information in my app so that we can keep in touch and talk about all the great memories we've made here together.
Sure, for sure.
Mike's probably wired in over here.
Done.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very
Thank you,
good.
guys.
Thank you.
Before we leave you all to your daily activities, we want you to join our Jamboree meteorologist Kyle Kibble for the latest on the weather.
Thank you, Michelle and Xenia. Before we left the earlier weather broadcast, I asked you, what kind of weather is expected with a cold front? And many of you had close to the right answer or had the right answer. Was it A, warm and sunny conditions, B, cloudy with thunderstorms, or when we expect a cold front, is it just very cold air? I mean, it is called a cold front for a reason, right? Those of you who guessed B, you are correct. Most of the time, a cold front is associated with cloudier conditions and rain and thunderstorms. You can see that now on the satellite and radar picture from earlier this morning. There's that cold front, and there are those cloudy conditions with the rain and possibly a few thunderstorms look like embedded here in southern Ohio as well as southeastern Ohio. Looks like those will move and push into the West Virginia area as we carry on the rest of our Tuesday. Timing that out for you, 10 a.m. this morning. Got some scattered morning rain moving through the area, 40% chance of that. By 3 p.m., we see those thunderstorms rolling through the West Virginia mountains, 70% chance of a scattered thunderstorm or two. And by 8 p.m., some lingering rain showers do stick around, 60% chance of those rain showers sticking around. Try and do the best you can to enjoy the rest of your World Scout Jamboree Day here at the Summit Bechtel Reserve.
Thank you, Kyle. That's everything we have for you this morning. Make sure to tune in at 7 p.m. for the New World Live Evening Edition.
Stay safe and have an awesome Jamboree experience today. It seems like you might need a raincoat. We will be back with you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Goodbye.
Again soon.